call me awesome, some call me busy. Call me often, gator on my shirt. What did it look awesome? I'm good, please don't cross them. How rude. Stephanie Danner, you don't gotta watch me, but please watch your manners and I be getting green. Yeah, how y'all feel? Cause I feel so awesome. How you feel? Awesome. I guess that's awesome. You fine and your yeah awesome. Wanna roll? Awesome. Let's go. Yeah, hands in the skyline. AWE. Some call me awesome. Some call me busy. Call me awesome. Gator on my shirt.
Hello and welcome everyone. It's the NBA here on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg. For the Grizzlies, their last game, a win against the Charlotte Bobcats. And that one, never in doubt. They ripped them up good. That's what you call embarrassing the opposition.
Yeah, I think they matched up really well with that club, and everything seemed to be going in their favor.
Well, certainly that's what the final score would have you to believe, Steve.
Looking at the starting five for the Phoenix Suns. Dudley and Hill at the 2 and the 3. Gortat is out there with Markieff Morris, and it's Brown in at the 1 spot. And for the Grizzlies, Gay and Randolph make up the forwards. Conley and Mayo in the backcourt. And it's Gasol in at the center position.
Well, the Suns only won 23 games against Western Conference opponents last year, and that's one of the reasons they really fell from contention in terms of their postseason.
Here's the mayor. He's coming off a 10-point game against Portland. Conley against Brown. Jumps up. Count it. Well, you know, for the Suns, Clark, why do you think they struggled so much against the West?
Well, I think part of it was they weren't getting enough done inside, and in the West, that'll cost you. I mean, we've talked about it before, Kevin, how big the front lines are in the Western Conference in general. I mean, you look at a rebounding. 10 out of the top 15 rebounding teams last season were in the Western Conference. I mean, points in the paint, 11 of the top 15 were Western Conference teams. I mean, you've got to be able to handle your business inside in the West. If you don't, it's going to be hard to win.
Doris Burke has some information for us. Doris?
Kevin, thank you. I was able to talk with Lionel Hollins for just a moment. He told me that to him, the most impressive thing about his team has been their mistake-free play offensively, saying, we're not doing a lot wrong when we've got the ball in our hands, and we need to keep that frame of mind going. Guys?
Good report, Doris. Well said. Thanks. An interesting thing to address before the game.
Yeah, you know, the priority of most coaches is not shooting. I mean, that's really way down the priority list in terms of what a coach might talk about.
Steve?
Well, you don't want to focus on makes and misses because that puts pressure on the players. But clearly, you got to put the ball in the hoop. And I think tonight, making shots from the outside is going to be really key.
Now here's Arenas. Tight defense on him. To the middle. Mayo. Suns lead by 3. Back to Brown. Gay picks him up defensively. Clock at 6. On the wing, Brown. Guarded by Mayo. And they turn over the 24-second buzzer, signaling the shot clock violation.
Just a lapse in focus there because that looked to be a pretty easy pass to make.
So timeout called here. The first for Memphis.
You know, you look at what I thought was a terrific breakthrough season for the Grizzlies a season ago. I mean, in Memphis, we've been seeing them for years now, bit by bit, making the FedEx Forum a tougher and tougher place to come and steal a win. And in the playoffs, I thought that crowd was as good as any we've seen in the league all year.
Here is Conley. Looking for his first bucket of the game. Mayo gets to Conley. Gay, a screen on Brown. Off the pick. Rebounded by Dudley. Well, looking at the Grizzlies' home record last season, 30 up and 11 down, and that record has done nothing but improve for the last 5 seasons. They're an ascending ball club, Steve.
They are. A lot of talent, and I hope that great play, Kevin, will energize this Memphis fan base and continue to fill up the forum the next few years, because this is a rising team in the Western Conference. Great defensive work right there. The quick hands lead to the turnover.
And the rebound goes to the Grizzlies. And this is their first time matched up with the Suns this season.
Yeah, and as you'd expect, I mean, they were the better team last year in their season series.
Outside Arenas. Just 5 on the clock. The 3. They get the rebound. Left side Arenas. Conley against Brown. Here's Randolph, and he finishes nicely on the way. Like Steve said, Clark, the season series between these two went according to form for the most part.
You know, it really did, Kevin. They were in the postseason for a reason, and their opponent today was not for a reason.
Kicks it to Dudley. Now Mayo defending. Jacks up a 3. That's good. 6 points for Shannon Brown.
That was some skill there. Nice use of the bounce pass.
Conley with it. Still looking to get on the scoreboard. Picked up by Brown. Back to Mayo. The pass to Randolph. Shoots. Mayo. Now Gay. On the mark from 16 feet out. Gay's got 7.
He knows his role. He embraces it. He's really a guy that you can go to offensively.
You know, oftentimes, Kevin, we'll see players struggle in their first season after getting a big contract, but not Rudy Gay. The only thing that sidetracked him was a late season shoulder injury.
The Grizzlies trail by 4. Outside Conley. Now here's Arenas. Not a lot of room. Outside for Randolph. Hands it from downtown. Randolph's got his second basket of the night. Well, despite that injury to Rudy Gay, Clark, the production has to be encouraging. You said career highs, Steve, almost across the board.
Yeah, you look at the numbers, Kevin, 47% from the field, 40% from the three-point line. He makes his free throws, 80% there. So Rudy Gay, really an emerging star. It'll be interesting to see how they can kind of re-engage him into this offense after he was injured last year.
And taken away by Arenas.
You know, sometimes it takes a quarter to settle down to get that first good sweat going, but so far, he's been responsible for coughing up the ball 3 times.
Yeah, he needs to settle down, just make the easy play, find an easy shot, let the game come to him.
And the Suns missing. Yeah.
Now, the defense backs off a little bit because he does not shoot the ball well from the three-point line.
They set the pick. Passes it to Mayo. Lets it go with a 3. Another shot. It's Mayo on the way. No good from outside. The Suns trailing. They're moving on after the tough loss they took at the hands of the Blazers.
I'm guessing they got quite a post-game speech from their coach because that was a really poor performance.
I would say it might be a little more than a post-game speech. He may have done more than just talk after that one.
Outside Arenas. Gay outside. Arenas. 6 to shoot. Puts it up. So it's Phoenix now. Here's Brown. Drills the leaner. And now it's a 3-point Suns lead.
He's just playing so well across the board, guys.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's exactly what his stats look like, definitely.
Here's the dish to Mayo. Wide open look, and the basket good. Mayo's got 6. And it's Phoenix's ball. Here's Brown. His last outing with 20 points. From the left block. Good on the shot. He has 6. With 1 on the clock. Well, it's been a high-scoring competitive game through the first quarter of play. Suns lead by 3.
And they set the tone there defensively with their shot blocking. They've been really intimidating down in the paint area.
You know, in the rest of the game, Steve, shooters will be looking around for the shot blockers because of what's happened in this quarter.
And we'll return momentarily.
An early season picture of the NBA comes into focus. The Los Angeles Clippers take on Rajon Rondo and the Boston Celtics this Friday, 7:30 Eastern. Don't miss it.
And off we go. A close game now starting the second quarter. The Suns leading. At the conclusion of this game, they're off to Minnesota where they'll take on the Timberwolves. That will be their second of 6 road games for the team. Setting the floor for the Suns, the mayor in at point guard. Markieff Morris is out there with Hill. Then it's Gortat, and it's Red in at the 2.
You know, as tight as this game is, you have to like their chances the way they've been rebounding.
They have a pretty good margin in that department, so they've got to continue to hit the boards hard. It'll pay off for them in the end.
A three-pointer is right on target. And the Suns lead by 4.
Well, not the best defensive scheme, and it results in a wide-open look.
Gay outside. Back to Arenas. From about 19 feet. Again, the miss by Arenas. Suns leading by 4.
You know, when I look at this Memphis Grizzlies team, I mean, such an impressive playoff run for them last season. And the thing that stood out for me was their depth. They got contributions from a lot of players.
And Clark, you talk about the depth of that Memphis team. You think about the bench players that stepped up in the playoffs, guys like Darrell Arthur, Shane Battier, Grievous Vasquez, giving them big minutes at that backup point guard spot. And then, of course, O.J. Mayo, a guy who would start for a lot of teams. When he came off the bench, gave them tough defense and made some big shots.
And he makes the first.
Well, the Suns missed the playoffs a year ago, and there's a lot of speculation about whether they will begin a rebuilding process. Steve Nash obviously getting up there in years. So the question for Phoenix, do they trade him? Do they keep him? Do they still try to build around him? One thing's for sure, they need an infusion of young talent.
And that one's good by Gay.
Now, you can't give him any space out there.
Outside Hill. Puts up the baby hook. And that one's good by Gortat. Gortat's got 8 points. All good questions to look for answers for, Steve. Certainly the Suns need more young talent. This is a team that was selling first-round picks only a few short seasons ago, Clark.
And, Kevin, that's rarely a good idea. I mean, even on a stacked veteran team like the Suns were, you look at players like Luol Deng, Rajon Rondo. I mean, those players selected with some of the picks the Suns sold away. Sometimes those moves can come back to make you squirm a little bit.
Yes. 6 on the shot clock. Stolen by Randolph.
And, you know, despite the number of turnovers, Kevin, they've still got the lead here.
Well, eventually, guys, you know those mistakes will come back and haunt you, so they've got to do a better job of taking care of the basketball.
Backing down is Gortat. Hits the jump hook. Gortat's got 10 points.
Boy, he's been so dependable here this game, really playing well offensively.
The Grizzlies trail by 5. Outside Arenas. The feed to Gay. Back to Arenas. They're moving the ball. Gay outside. Fires at the elbow. Shot's good. Gay's got 7 points here in this quarter.
Boy, they've done a lot of their damage from mid-range here, guys. I mean, knocking down those shots with regularity.
Yeah, how about 8 of their last 10 points, guys, coming off that mid-range area jump shot. So, shows you don't have to be at the rim to score.
And first time out of the game called for Phoenix.
Guys, I don't think there's any question about it. It was the best season in Grizzlies franchise history last season. I mean, a team that was 0-12 in the playoffs, had never won a playoff game, upsets the top-seeded Spurs in really convincing fashion. It was clear they were a really difficult matchup for San Antonio.
Catching up on the changes for Memphis. Spates checked in for Gasol. Cunningham comes in for Zach Randolph. And it's Mayo in for Jarrell Arthur. Now here is Hill. And here is Lopez. The dive for the ball. Out of bounds. And they retain possession. Well, the Grizzlies, Clark, took the Thunder all the way to 7 games. This is a team that won 46 games in the regular season. And then all of a sudden, they look like one of the best teams, Steve, in the West.
Yeah, what an amazing turnaround, Kevin. And they did all that without arguably their best player in Rudy Gay. But what I like best about Memphis is that they really established an identity. They pounded you inside. They really hustled defensively. And they were going to outwork you. And I think that was the key in their playoff run.
Arenas kicks to Mayo. Lots of room. And another basket for Memphis.
That's 10 straight points now coming in that mid-range jump shot area, guys.
Yeah, it is. And they're picking their spots and finding holes in the middle of that defense to get those shots off. And I think that's very good discipline they're showing us here.
Hill kicks to Fry. Fires the 3. Can't hit. And the Grizzlies going the other way now. Outside Mayo. Outside Arenas. From outside the arc. That one goes. Come. Arenas has got 5 points in the quarter.
They've done a really good job of knocking down their long-distance shots here in the second quarter. I mean, they're shooting just above 40% from downtown. That's outstanding.
The Mayor, and they wasted no time getting those 3 points back. And the Suns lead by 1. Outside Mayo. And Spates backing in. Shoots it. That's in, coming off an assist from Arenas. Spates has got his first bucket of the night. And here comes Brown. He's got 8.
And for Gilbert Arenas, you wonder, will he ever be able to return to the form that made him an all-star? He's had so many knee problems. He's beyond his prime now and still fighting to return to form.
He kicks it to Fry. The tray. Another 3 for Phoenix. Clark, a lot of give and take between these sides early.
Kevin, how about 6 lead changes in this half already?
Yeah, good one here, guys. This is going to be fun to watch. 2 evenly matched teams, both teams playing hard.
The shot by Gay. That's good, and Arenas with the assist. Arenas has got 3 assists tonight.
You know, and for Arenas, it's a matter of really adapting his game as best he can at this point. I mean, 3 knee surgeries later, he's not going to be able to explosively penetrate like he once did. I mean, so the big scoring numbers may not be there, but he has to be efficient and smarter in how he gets his shots.
And they will call over the back on the play.
He was climbing all over the defender on that one, no doubt.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, a pretty easy over-the-back call right there, partner.
And some changes here for the Grizzlies. Marcus All is checked in for Cunningham. Pondexter comes in for Rudy Gay. And it's Conley in for Gilbert Arenas. Balanced scoring, Clark and Steve, for them. They're moving it well.
Yeah, you love to see teams share the sugar. Everybody getting a touch, everybody enjoying an opportunity to score it. That makes it a lot of fun for everybody on the court.
You know, it sounds better when you say it than watching it. Okay? I like better when you say it. Sharing the sugar. Right, Steve?
Yeah, pass the cream, too. I mean, while you're at it. I mean, this has been something to watch. I mean, just everybody getting involved.
Back in a moment for Memphis.
And welcome to HP at the half. A close game right now out at FedEx Forum. The Grizzlies battling in a close one against the Phoenix Suns. Just a special performance for them offensively. They simply can't be denied. A terrific first half for Rudy Gay. Seems like everything's falling for him. Not sure if he even knows how to miss. On the other side, the Suns also putting up numbers. They're looking to make up some ground in this one. They're trying to get their season back on the winning track. Marcin Gortat with a big contribution. He's got 10 points and has caused a lot of problems on the defensive side, swatting away plenty of shots. Some fantastic numbers to enjoy here. What a first half for tonight's leading scorers. Now let's check out other NBA action as we go around the league. The Rockets grabbed the win against the Pacers in Indiana. Didn't run into much resistance. Ran away with it. Kevin Martin led the team in points. In one of the other games that went final today, for the Clippers, a loss to the Bulls out at United Center. They'll look to rebound after what turned out to be a letdown. Their scoring leader, Blake Griffin. And a look here at the other action around the association. Out at American Airlines Arena, it's the Heat in front against Utah. Not a lot of problems for them. They're up 11 in the fourth. And we'll see you next time as the second half is about to get underway in Memphis. So long, everyone.
Here we go now, the start of the third quarter, welcoming you back in a closely contested first half so far. Here's guys, there's still time for them to make a run.
But the margin of error is history.
Well, yeah, there's not much margin at all, Clark. They can't afford to waste any more possessions.
So with Gay on the bench, here's how the floor looks for Lionel Hollins. Quincy Pondexter out there with Cunningham. And it's Tony Allen. Then it's Gilbert Arenas. And it's Spates in at center. No coverage that time. Spates has got 6. Suns trail by 12. Here's the mayor. Michael Redd on the wing. From deep. And here's the fast break. Here's Allen. Unloads. Hits the fadeaway.
Now, the offensive efficiency has been really important. I think that's been the difference.
Well, you know, I think it's pretty simplistic, but it does oftentimes come down to this, making shots. And that's what they've done.
Lopez kicks to Telfair. Shoots over Spates. Phoenix no good that time either.
He's not necessarily a strong inside presence, but he needs to polish those chances off.
Pondexter no good. And Phoenix has possession. It's a 14-point game. Now Telfair feeds it to Lopez. Shot is blocked. And the Grizzlies leading by 14. Here's Arenas. There's the block. And it's the Suns' ball. They trail by 14. Here's the 3. Childress is whistled for the loose ball foul. That'll be his second foul of the game.
A little bit reckless there, trying to get that rebound, and he gets the call for going over the top.
Yeah, he practically tackled him. I mean, he was draped all over him, Steve. That was an easy one.
And here we go with Gilbert Arenas. It's a 14-point game. Dishes it to Pondexter. And Spates backing in. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there.
But you look at Spates and you see the unlimited potential. He's got a great jump shot. He's strong. He can score around the basket. But he's still trying to find his game and figure out his place on the floor. And he's still a young guy, so hopefully he'll eventually carve out his niche in this league.
Just talking about Spates, if he puts it all together, you know, he's going to be a handful for anybody to work on the block.
Oh, man, I tell you what, I like his skill set, Kevin. I mean, he's shown that he can be a really tough matchup. Good hands. He's got excellent length. He's just got to find a way to stay on the floor more on a consistent basis.
Nice shot from the wing. He's got 12.
Living a little room service dime with that dish.
Allen dishes to Pondexter. Allen moving the ball well. Baseline jumper. Spates the pass to Arenas. Here is Cunningham. Outside Arenas. Here's Allen. Arenas with it. He feeds it to Allen. Back to Arenas. For the 3. Cannot hit. And it's the Suns taking it the other way.
He is yet to get into the flow of this game. His teammates have done their part, but they need him to pick his game up.
Here's the Mayor. Back to Lopez. Up and in on the layup. Lopez has got his first 2 points of the night.
Boy, every time they drop it in, they do so from close range. Easy baskets.
Yeah, high percentage looks time and time again, guys, and it's paying off for them the way they're playing this game. I like their strategy.
Now a timeout called by Memphis.
Well, prior to last season, the Suns decided to let Amari Stoudemire leave for free agency. They were concerned that with all of his injuries, they just couldn't justify giving him a long-term big deal.
Here for the Grizzlies. Zach Randolph is checked in for Spates. Gay comes in for Quincy Pondexter. And it's Mayo in for Tony Allen. Then for the Suns, Gortat's checked in for Lopez. Morris comes in for Josh Childress. And it's Hill in for Sebastian Telfair. Here's Gay. He's got 20. Grant Hill covering. Pass to Arenas. Outside Mayo. He passes to Randall. Gortat's there. 4 on the shot clock. From 17 feet out. They get it back. Here's Cunningham. Arenas kicks to Mayo. Guarded now by Morris. Tries again. The Mayor gets the board inside. Suns trail by 11. Outside Hill. Backing down is Gortat. And with that one, the lead is trimmed to single digits. Gortat's got 12 points in the game. Arenas kicks to Mayo. Randolph a screen on Red. Here's Mayo. The step back jumper is good. Mayo's got 4 points this quarter.
Right there, Randolph doing a good job opening up space for the shooter with the solid screen.
Outside Hill. Red, guarded by Mayo. Red dishes to Gortat. Good ball movement. With the shot. It's Cunningham with the rebound.
You know, with very little defense there, that's a shot he should be taking and making.
And 2 shots coming up at the line as he gets fouled on the shot. Here's what Memphis has lined up on their schedule. Their next game is at the American Airlines Center in Dallas for a game with the Mavericks. That will be a getaway game for them, a 1-game road trip.
And the Grizzlies had such a good season a year ago, and one of the areas they improved was their play against Western Conference opponents. They went from 22 wins the year before to 30 last season.
The first one falls. And for the Grizzlies in this competitive Western Conference, Steve, you just said it, they've added 8 wins. Just making the playoffs, defeating the #1 seed San Antonio. Clark, no small accomplishment.
No, it's a great accomplishment, Kevin, and I think their transformation into a defensive-minded team was one of the keys. I mean, they had scoring threats, guys who could put up points, but when you play tough defense at the NBA level, that really raises your ceiling.
Good luck. Arenas with the bucket. Arenas has got 4 points now in the quarter.
Now maybe that'll get him going. He's been in a bit of a funk here.
He dishes it to Morris. Here's the Mayor from 20 feet out, off the back of the rim and in.
And now 6 of their last 10 points from mid-range.
Yeah, the jump shot really serving these guys pretty well.
1:16 left in the third. Goes up from the top of the key. Again, the miss by Arenas. And they're pushing it up. Now, here is Red. Grant Hill on the wing. Here's the Mayor. Shot clock at 6. Over Gay. Red's shot is right there. Red's got 5.
I'll tell you what, he's made more than a few of those in his career.
Outside Arenas. Left side Arenas. Cunningham. Gortat with the rebound. Gortat's got 7 rebounds in the game. Deflects the pass. Here's what Phoenix has lined up on their schedule. At the conclusion of this game, they're off to Minnesota, where they'll take on the Timberwolves. And their road trip is only getting started, as that's the second of 6 for them. So it's both teams making substitutions here. Here's Pargo. It's deflected. Well, through 3 quarters of play, down double digits, it may be difficult to overcome. Rudy Gay having a dominant impact in this game.
Well, we know he can score, so it's not really a huge shock to see him put up these kind of big numbers.
And I would think that he most likely will continue to carry on this kind of play into the fourth.
Live from the FedEx Forum, you're watching 2K Sports.
Tune in this Friday night. The New Jersey Nets go on the road to battle the Miami Heat. The new season in the NBA rolls on. Make sure to catch it.
So as we get rolling here in the fourth, let's go to our sideline reporter, Doris Burke, for our Sprite Spark. Doris, take it away.
Hey, Kevin, it's the Grizzlies picking up the Sprite Spark for the stretch they put together. Their advantage was built through their defense, namely that great second quarter when nothing got by them. They parlayed that great run into the lead they now have. Can they keep it? We'll see.
Thanks, Doris. Clark, it was a scoring run that proved. So no problem for Memphis as they get the win. And this one was such a lopsided victory.
They never let up. They were full throttle from the start.
That'll do it for now. For Doris Burke, Steve Kerr, and Clark Kellogg, and the rest of the 2K Sports crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for joining us.
In the midst of another blowout, you were seen lapping it up at the bench at one point with one of your teammates. Can you tell us what was so funny?
Listen, man, what we talk about on the bench is nobody's business. I wasn't laughing. That's fine, though. That's fine. Think whatever you want. I take this game and this team serious, real serious. I put everything I have into trying to win games, day in and day out. That's what I do. I don't want to go out there and get blown out on national TV. Nobody does. We were just talking, man. That's it. Period. None of this is funny. Man, you know what, man? That's it. I'm done, man.
Yeah, okay. I'm the best, I don't have to practice. Double team, I don't have to pass it. Ballin' hard in our Chevrolets, more vets than the Dallas Mavericks. Hall of Famer like Shaq and Magic. Kobe Bryant, now back to back it. Shoot the three if I have to nash it. Dwight Howard when I'm at the basket. In the gym, but not the Nastics. D-Wade, got to flash it. Checking account, got so many O's. My name at the is Robert Parrish. When it comes to the J's, I got the classics. Jason Kids, and I got the Patricks. Number one, another all the draft picks. Championship, got to have it. Been a starter since day one. I'm with Kanye, I'm with Akon. I run with kings like Tyreek, cause I've been the prince like Tayshaun. But I feel like LeBron everywhere I go, cause every time I score, you know, them haters looking at me. Looking sideways, looking sideways, looking sideways. Them haters looking at me. Looking sideways, looking sideways, looking sideways. Them haters looking at me. Looking sideways, looking sideways, looking sideways. Them haters looking at me. Looking sideways, looking sideways, looking sideways. Them haters looking at me. Win raw, big dog, run through the zone like Chris Paul. I'm somewhere, a mile high like Carmelo when the Knicks call. You D-Rose with the free throws. I done made every shot. You to think I got the cheat code. Memphis Grizzlies, beast mode. 47 Carolinko. When I'm hurt, I'm suited up. Never catch me in street clothes. I'm on point like Rondo. More blocks than Matumbo. I'm working out in the morning. My trainer name is Alonzo. So I don't care who plays. Cause when I'm done playing 2K, them haters looking at me. Looking sideways, looking sideways, looking sideways.
And 2K Sports welcomes you to the NBA with Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg. This is Kevin Harlan. We're glad you're aboard. Looking at the last game for the Phoenix Suns, it was a loss to the Grizzlies in Memphis at the FedEx Forum. And that does your confidence guys no favor. They got manhandled in that one. It wasn't pretty.
Well, you want to talk about struggling offensively, but no matter how good you are at the other end, if you can't score, you can't win.
Yeah, that's a great point because so often we talk about defending, winning championships. Defense makes it happen. Well, the game is about putting the ball in the basket. And if you're bad at that, you're not going to win a bunch of games. I can tell you that for sure.
So the opening lineup for the Suns. Dudley and Hill at the 2 and the 3. Markieff Morris is out there with Gortat, and it's Brown in at the point. And for the Timberwolves, Michael Beasley and Kevin Love there in the forward positions. Ricky Rubio is out there with Johnson, and it's Pekovic in at the center position. Now, here is Gortat. Passes it to Hill. Here's the mayor. And Shannon Brown with the slam.
Well, that's his bread and butter right there.
He loves to throw those down hard.
And I'll tell you what, I love to see him throw them down hard. I thought Shannon Brown made so much improvement last season, guys. He scored well, and he worked really hard to improve his weaknesses, which were his ball handling and his outside shooting, so he became much more of a complete player.
Let's go to Doris Burke, who spoke with head coach Alvin Gentry.
The one player on his mind in this matchup, Kevin Love. And it's not for his scoring ability, but for the harm he can do to a team on the backboards. You saw what he can do to teams if he goes unchecked, Coach said. We don't want to let him get up and get over 20 or 30 rebounds on us. And to do that, we got to check him out each time a shot goes up. Guys, easier said than done.
Thank you, Doris. And that is good. Rubio's got his third basket of the night.
Steve, I agree with you in terms of Shannon Brown's improvement, how hard he worked on those weak areas, handling the ball better, working more on the shot. I mean, the physical gifts were always there. Strong, tremendously athletic. I give him a lot of credit for working to make the most of that natural ability that he has.
Now, here's Rubio. He picked up 12 points in their last win against Toronto. Launches it. Johnson gets the bucket.
He loves operating in that kind of space.
Suns trail by 3.
Well, last season, the Suns' road record dipped well below 500, 17 and 24. And that's one of the reasons they were on the outside looking in when it came to playoff time.
Here's Morris. Here's the mayor. And easy 2 points on the layup.
Kevin, great finish on the low block. I love it.
Here is Rubio. Steve, that's your old team, the Suns. They could put on a show, certainly. They always have with Nash. But Clark, they couldn't get enough wins on the road, 17 and 24, as Steve just said.
Yeah, well, that may have been part of it, too. I mean, those high-scoring games tend to get the crowd engaged, and that gives the home team life. I mean, when you're an up-and-down team, you're giving the other team possessions as well. And when you're not really strong defensively, then that creates opportunities to not be able to finish games or close out opponents. And I think the Suns struggled at the defensive end of the floor at times.
Now, here's Rubio. 7 points in the game. The shot. Williams can't get it to go.
Good percentage shot, though. That's one they'll take any day of the week.
Gortat is guarded by Johnson. Here's Morris. Good.
I can imagine they're going to hear an earful about this next stop. I mean, that's 3 straight field goals given up right in the middle of the lane. Inexcusable.
Well, defense starts at the rim. I mean, you want teams shooting the ball from the outside, and that's not happening. They're just giving up everything inside.
So the Timberwolves called their first timeout.
You know, Jared Dudley's never been the most athletic player on the floor, but he's got a sense of humor about it. The 6'7" swingman made a pledge to get at least 10 dunks last season and finally reached his mark with 3 games left.
Here is Rubio. Clark, you brought up Jared Dudley. He has become a fan favorite in Phoenix, not just for his sense of humor, but Steve, also for his consistent work ethic.
Yeah, Suns gave him a 5-year extension last season. Part of that was his all-around play, a high-energy player, a good three-point shooter, and part of it was just what he means to the team, chemistry-wise, a great teammate.
Johnson kicks to Pekovic. Gortat's there. And that's good by Pekovic. He has 5. The Suns leading. This their first chance to take a look at the Timberwolves this season.
Well, they capitalized on a weak opponent when they took on this team last year, sweeping the season series.
Here is Rubio. 7 points in the game. Williams kicks to Love. He's guarded by Dudley. Takes it up. Love can't hit. Even the teams at the bottom match up well against someone. That was the case here, too.
Well, Kevin, maybe your relative strengths don't show up against a top-tier team, but lower the bar of competition a little bit, and in your own way, you can shine.
That's a good point. Some good ball movement here. Clock at 6. Here's the mayor. Makes it from 18 feet out. And the Suns lead by 4.
Well, he just does so many things well out there.
A true pro, a professional display he's put on here.
Pekovic, no luck. On offense, here are the Suns. They lead by 4. Brown dishes to Morris. Here's the mayor. He feeds it to Brown. And it's Johnson picking him up. Gets the bucket. And it's a 6-point Suns lead.
They're clicking offensively. A nice rhythm here, coming out strong.
Shooting an excellent percentage. That's why they've got the lead.
Minnesota calls timeout.
Well, the Timberwolves are hoping that they've found some answers at the point guard position. The veteran Luke Ridnour really played a steady role for them a year ago, but Johnny Flint, their top draft pick in 2009, missed almost 30 games and really struggled on the court.
The Timberwolves making a switch here. Lee's checked in. Here's Lee. Rubio with it. Johnson against Dudley. Just 5 to shoot. Now, here's Rubio. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. It's on Shannon Brown. Well, for the Timberwolves, the answer to their playmaking needs, a point guard, Steve and Clark, may have arrived in the form of rookie Ricky Rubio, joining the team from Spain.
Boy, it's got to be a relief, Kevin, for the Minnesota fans to see the former number 5 pick in the 2009 draft finally in uniform for the Timberwolves. Scoring is still a question mark for him, but his passing, court vision, and flair, all of that is unquestioned.
Now, here is Gortat, guarded closely. Brown kicks to Gortat. The Suns need to get a shot off. They get the rebound. Morris, a strong effort on the rebound, nets the second chance points.
They're in attack mode early, guys, really cleaning up the glass.
Well, it's +5 in rebounding here in the first quarter. I mean, in a 4-quarter game, if that margin continues, that's +20 rebound. That would be almost assuring a win.
Now here's Love. He's coming off a 22-point game against Toronto. A 10-footer and the basket by Rubio. Rubio's got 11.
Wow, you really have to sit back and admire what this guy is doing for his team right now. They're down, yet he stepped it up and he's delivered.
Good team play there. You move the ball until you find the right shot for the right person.
They're a well-oiled machine, Steve. I mean, working extremely well as a cohesive unit. Every pass delivered on time and on target. A lot of ball movement and player movement. It's a thing of beauty.
Now Brown, after Wesley Johnson's three-pointer that didn't go. And here's Dudley for 3, and the whistle blows, and it's going to be an over-the-back call here.
That's an over-the-back foul, but it's one that you can live with. He's trying to be aggressive, and I like that.
Yeah, you know, I used to do that as a player myself, Steve, but you've got to be smart about going over the top. I don't think he had a chance to get that rebound anyway.
And the Suns making a change. Here is Rubio. And now let's check out the lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Here's the second quarter of play. Setting the floor for the Suns. The Mayor in a 2-guard. Robin Lopez out there with Hill. Then it's Brown, and it's Childress in at the 3 slot.
Well, guys, the Timberwolves are looking to establish more of a home court advantage. I mean, last season, they narrowly missed having the worst record at home in the NBA at just 12 wins and 29 losses.
Taking 2 shots.
And he knocks down the first one. Like he just talked about the Timberwolves at home, 12 and 29. That was actually their best performance at home in the last 3 seasons.
Wow.
Steve?
You could forgive these Minnesota fans for being a little frustrated. And they are in the bottom 10 in attendance. But it could be a lot worse. I mean, this team's record has been horrible the last few years. Let's hope that this club can get back on the right track and get their fans back in the building.
Now Barea back to Beasley. 6 on the shot clock. Randolph backs in. Over Hill. The shot's good from Randolph.
And now 6 of their last 10 points from mid-range.
Yeah, jump shot really serving these guys pretty well.
The pass to Brown. Takes the three. Williams pulls it in. Williams has got 3 rebounds so far in the game. Barea kicks to Williams. The feed now to Beasley. Back to Williams. He's against Hill. Here's Randolph. Up with it. Jumps up. Shakes off the strong D and gets the bucket for 2. Here's Brown. He's coming off a 13-point game against Memphis.
You know, you see Derek Williams, and he's a big, powerful, explosive guy, but he also has a nice touch out the three-point range. I think that catches a few people off guard.
And here's Rubio. Now the dish to Barea. Williams from the baseline. And the rebound goes to Lopez. Clark, you mentioned Williams' shooting touch. Steve, over 56% from deep in college.
Well, I think that was pretty surprising to everybody involved, even the Arizona coaches, because Derek Williams had always been an inside player, but you see the touch, you see the skill set, and that's why NBA scouts were so excited about him prior to the draft last year. He's got a lot of ability, could become a very versatile offensive player.
He kicks to Barea. Grant Hill covering. On its way from Beasley for 2, and unable there to get the go-ahead bucket.
Well, that's definitely a good look. I mean, the defense can't be that relaxed. I mean, they got there and expect him to miss consistently from there. He's too good.
Here's what Phoenix has lined up on their schedule. Up next for them is the Pacers in Indianapolis, and that will be game 3 of 6 played away from home.
Well, prior to last season, the Suns decided to let Amari Stoudemire leave for free agency. They were concerned that with all of his injuries, they just couldn't justify giving him a long-term big deal.
And the first one at the line is good. Well, Steve, that's what, you know, I'm sure you'd agree, that's what makes this Suns story so interesting. They let Amari go to the Knicks, but then they turned around with a completely different front office and spent almost as much on Channing Frye, Josh Childress, and Clark Hakeem Warwick. It seemed at times a little confusing.
Yeah, baffling would be another word to use there. I mean, historically, Kevin, those mid-level deals for average players can be just as risky. So some interesting choices by the Suns' top brass, and we'll see how they pan out. You need to give them a little time, but that usually takes a little longer than you want it to.
And Rubio kicks to Pekovic. And you can count it. He'll go to the line with a chance to make it 3.
You know, he always gets the ball in the right spot down there, Kevin, because he excels at doing his work early and establishing that position inside.
And it's tied up with that one.
You know, guys, you think back to a team like the Suns. They had a terrific shot at winning the championship just a few short seasons ago, and it doesn't seem like they're in real contention right now going forward.
Brown, the pass to Hill. Guarded now by Randolph, and he stepped in the line, so they turn it over. And a moment now to check out who Minnesota has coming up. They host the Kings after this game. That game will conclude a 3-game homestand. Here is Rubio. He's got 11. We're talking about the Suns' fall from contention, some of it age, but Steve, a number of tough breaks and maybe a few self-inflicted wounds along the way.
Well, Steve Nash is getting older, still was a very productive player a season ago. I think the biggest difference, though, for Phoenix was not having Amari Stoudemire, who left as a free agent for New York. So the talent base went down, and now Phoenix is faced with some question marks as they look to the future. They're going to have to make some changes eventually and kind of reload to get back to that championship-style level.
Randolph against Hill. 6 to shoot. Shoots the 3. Rubio with the rebound. Minnesota in the lead. They host the Kings after this game. That'll be the last of 3 straight at home for the team. And Pekovic backs down. Shoots over Gortat. Pekovic, no luck. And Phoenix has possession, trailing by 2. Here's the mayor. Here's Childress, looking for his first bucket of the game. And the Suns miss again. Here's Minnesota. Only giving up 2 points this quarter. This game coming on the heels of their win against Toronto.
Well, I loved watching that game, guys. That was fun. I mean, canning one three-pointer after another, that's my kind of game.
Well, I wouldn't expect you to say anything less, being the three-point marksman that you were. Of course you enjoy watching guys make threes. But even though I played in the paint, I like to see three-pointers go down too.
The Suns trailing. And here they come. Here's Brown. Kicks it to Hill. Leads him in there. Looking to end the drought. Williams pulls it in. Williams has got his 4th rebound in this one. And so here is Minnesota. Rubio with it. 11 points in the game. Pass to Williams. Grant Hill covering. Good from 11 feet out. And the Timberwolves lead by 4.
Boy, they've done a lot of their damage from mid-range here, guys. I mean, knocking down those shots with regularity.
Yeah, how about 8 of their last 10 points, guys, coming off that mid-range area jump shot. So, shows you don't have to be at the rim to score.
That is good. Gortat's got 6 points. Now, here's Rubio. Picked up by Brown. Now, Rubio. Knocked away and taken away by Brown.
You know, Kevin, by and large, the turnover story hasn't been that bad for them. I mean, they've only given up a handful.
Covered by Rubio. Minnesota with the ball. Pushing it up. Here's Williams. Couldn't score after going the length of the floor. Johnson against Brown. And stolen by Williams.
I really don't like what I'm seeing their last couple of possessions, Kevin. That's 2 turnovers in a row. Careless turnovers at that.
They're getting a little casual with the ball. They've got to nip that in the bud right now.
The Timberwolves again can't hit.
This game very well could come down to a few possessions, and if that's the case, rebounding could play large.
Yeah, and a close game like this one, securing the ball is so vital.
And Rubio kicks to Johnson. Johnson right side. And off against Gortat. Shot clock at 6. Rubio, no good on the 3. It's a close game here in Minnesota. Here's Brown. It's blocked. And they're moving it up. Here's Johnson. Oh, went in there and tried to power it down, but drew contact. He'll head to the line.
That was good awareness. Fouling and avoiding giving up an easy dunk.
Well, I think that's just good, smart basketball. Make him earn his points at the line.
Well, the Timberwolves were one of the worst teams in the NBA last year, and playing in that Western Conference is tough. They went just 7-45 against conference foes.
Well, for a team like that, Steve, struggling like the Wolves did last season, the Western Conference, not exactly a forgiving place. Clark, that's just amazing. Just 7 wins with 45 losses within their conference.
Yeah.
So we've reached the end of the first half of play. Suns ahead. They're up by 6.
It's Wednesday night. I hope you're having a good one. Time now for the HP Halftime Show. A good one in progress for the Suns. They've struggled a bit in the early going this season, but appear to be in good shape for the second half. Their second unit making its impact felt offensively. They've come in ready to roll. They've gotten some great minutes out of Markieff Morris. He's got 10 points, been getting to the rim, been getting to the line, and a great shooting percentage from both. And a resilient Timberwolves team is staying in it. Seems a little like they're sleepwalking out there, not a lot of energy, getting outworked and out-hustled. The first half, a letdown for Derek Williams. Right now, I'm not sure if he could hit water if he fell out of a cliche. He's shooting under 20%. Some fantastic numbers to enjoy here. What a first half for tonight's leading scorers. And now let's go around the league to catch up on other NBA action. At Amway Center, the Magic with a win over the Jazz. They've taken 2 of their last 3 games. Their leading scorer, Jameer Nelson. And another one of the games that went final, the Clippers grabbed the win against the Raptors in Toronto. That outing's their first victory in their last 3 tries. And it was Chris Paul leading them in scoring. And now a look at the other NBA action. The San Antonio Spurs drilling the Lakers out in Los Angeles. That one just all but wrapped up in the 4th. That'll just about do it here at the HB Halftime Report. The rest of the game coming right up.
And now the start of the second half. Neither side jumping out ahead through the first 2 quarters. Here's Red. Feeds it to Dub. Here's the Mayor. From 20 feet out, and he drops that one in. 11 points in the game. Timberwolves trailed by 7. J.J. Barea is out there with Johnson. Then there's Kevin Love, and there's Pekovic, and it's Randolph in at the 3. So that's the Timberwolves 5. From downtown, gets it to go. Johnson's got 7 points.
Now they're finally making some inroads here by knocking down shots from the perimeter.
You know, and on defense, you start to get a little nervous now when shot making is going as well as it has for them. I mean, it's like a stampede, an avalanche. And you definitely not only hear them coming, you feel it.
That free throw missing.
Well, the Suns missed the playoffs a year ago, and there's a lot of speculation about whether they will begin a rebuilding process. Steve Nash obviously getting up there in years. So the question for Phoenix, do they trade him? Do they keep him? Do they still try to build around him? One thing's for sure, they need an infusion of young talent.
And here's Barea. 6 to shoot. Kicks it out to Johnson. He dishes it to Barea. Dishes it to Randolph. Johnson outside. The second chance effort. Can't get it to go. And it's the Suns taking it the other way. All good questions to look for answers for, Steve. Certainly the Suns need more young talent. This is a team that was selling first-round picks only a few short seasons ago, Clark.
And, Kevin, that's rarely a good idea. I mean, even on a stacked veteran team like the Suns were, you look at players like Luol Deng, Rajon Rondo. I mean, those players selected with some of the picks the Suns sold away. Sometimes those moves can come back to make you squirm a little bit.
Yes. Barea, no good.
They're really getting the work done inside with their rebound.
Now, not giving up too many second chance opportunities, which is always important, and that's been one of the reasons they have the lead right now.
And Pekovic backs down. Bunny shot. Randolph can't hit.
Had a good look at the rim, though. That was poor defense.
Here's the Mayor from 20 feet out. Minnesota with the rebound. Randolph's got 3 rebounds now in this one. Some firepower, Clark and Steve, from this offense.
Yeah, Kevin, how about the air of confidence? I mean, they
Yeah.
really look like they believe in what they're doing.
Yeah, a little swagger here from this team. They're in a nice groove.
He passes to Beckett. Here's Johnson. That one's good from the corner. Johnson's got 5 points in the quarter.
Every once in a while, he'll kind of step out of his role and give you something like that.
Fires from 14. The shot misses. Good D by Love. Here is Barea. Goes up from the top of the key. Phoenix grabs the miss.
He's really lacking in confidence out there. 0 field goals made so far in this game.
Suns leading by 3. Michael Redd is on the wing. Rebound Love. Love's got 3 rebounds so far in the game.
How about the season Kevin Love had a year ago? He put up numbers that we haven't seen in a long time. Had a 30-30 game, huge rebound totals, and it just continued all season long.
Can't hit, and Phoenix will take it the other way. Here's the Mayor. He's got 12. Such a wide open look. 15 points in the game. Going back to Kevin Love and his numbers, Clark, I mean they were Russell-like, Chamberlain-like. I mean, they had such great volume in these categories.
Kevin, mind-boggling. I mean, you rarely see numbers in the high 20s and 30s as far as glass eating goes. I mean, and this guy doesn't really wow you with his athleticism.
No.
He's strong, he's tenacious, excellent hands and timing, but still, that number of rebounds. There's guys that couldn't get that many rebounds by themselves in practice. In the gym, by themselves couldn't get 30 rebounds, let alone in a game. Come on, man.
And the Timberwolves call time here.
Well, all these missed shots is a definite concern. I like this timeout. I really do. Settle everybody down and try to refocus them on the game plan and execution.
And some changes here for the Timberwolves. Williams is checked in for Randolph. Lee comes in for Wesley Johnson. And Ricky Rubio subbed in for J.J. Barea. Then for the Suns, Morris is checked in for Childress. Hill comes in for Jared Dudley. And it's Brown in for Michael Redd. Here is Rubio. He's got 11. Williams, a screen on Gortat. Love outside. Rubio, 6 on the shot clock. Back to Love. There's the pick. Shot off the pick. No good from Lee.
He got the shot he wanted off that pick, just couldn't get it to fall.
But, Steve, they'll take that play all day long, 10 times out of 10. That was good action.
Backing down is Gortat. Brown with it. He's got 6. Goes up again. Puts up the baby hook. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot. And he makes the first.
Kevin, right now, they're doing a good job at the line. They're hovering around 83, 84, 85% from the strike. That's good stuff. I mean, that's well done.
Check out the game for Shannon Brown. He's got 8 points, and he's had a steal in there, too.
Well, the defense has really been the key to this game, and he's setting the tone.
And Love backs in. Takes it up. Sinks that one from the post. Love's got 4 points now in the quarter.
You know, when there's little or no D on this guy and he's headed to the rim, just chalk it up and go on.
Here's Hill. Tries to keep it alive. Here's Gortat. Off the mark.
He had his elbows up. I mean, he was going to go up strong. Nobody else was getting that ball.
Goes up. And Derek Williams, the basket on the assist by Rubio. Williams has got his second bucket of the night. Here's the Mayor. Hill left side. From past the arc, and good on the basket. Book it. He's got 18.
Well, another uncontested three there. They've got to make some kind of an adjustment. I mean, they're giving up way too many open threes.
Well, the last 5 hoops, 3 have come off wide open three-pointers, Clark. So it's one thing to give up one, but you start giving three-pointers up in bunches, you're in big trouble.
And that's good by Pekovic.
Now, they may have to climb on his back to get back into this game.
And so he draws the foul on the shot, on trip to the line to shoot 2. The first free throw is good.
You know, they've really improved at the line from the first half. Things have gotten a lot better. They've gotten there a good number of times, and they've converted a high percentage of it.
He doesn't get the second one. Timberwolves trail by 6. Here's Williams. Nails it. Williams has got 4 this quarter.
Well, they've really picked up the intensity here since halftime.
I think they got the pep talk in both teams now, really going after each other. You know, the Minnesota Timberwolves' struggles have been wide-ranging. Offense was definitely a big problem. They tried to push the pace to get easier shots. They were, in fact, #1 in pace of play last season with 99 possessions a game.
Brown drops in the tray. Brown's got 11.
Yeah, he's always going to pull the trigger when you give him that kind of look.
Now, here's Rubio. He's got 11. Back to Love. Oh, and trying for it. Out of bounds. And they'll keep possession. It's too bad, Clark. You bring up an interesting, this pace thing, which a lot of coaches talk about, a lot of scouts zero in on. The Timberwolves first in pace last season in the league, but Steve, they were tied for 7th least in fast break points.
Well, that doesn't bode well, does it? Play fast but don't score? Man, no wonder they were so bad last year.
And so it's the Timberwolves who come out on top here. And Clark, you know, it was quite a nail-biter.
Yeah, it was tight. Their guys were able to come up with big plays down the stretch, and that's the difference.
So that'll do it for now. For Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for joining us for this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. We'll see you next time.
Your performance tonight, clearly a coming out party. You've made it known now that you'll be around the NBA for a long time. Does that sound about right?
I don't know, man. That's pretty high praise for someone who hasn't been around for all that long. I hope that's where my career ends up eventually, but right now I'm just out there trying to find ways to help this team win. There's a lot of other players here who I know I can learn a lot from, so I'm just going to keep trying to improve my game. And who knows what the future holds. For now, I'm not too worried about that.
Inside my size 12, not mentally ready for the places my mind dwell. When I think about everything I'm faced with, man, will I prevail? No, I didn't come this far to lose.